Attack on Titan, Season 2, Episode 3. A lot of plot development here. It starts right where we left off with Connie in front of his house. He is in absolute grief, thinking that everyone in his village is dead. Reiner puts his hand on his shoulder to show he cares. He makes a grimace on his face. However, when we get a shot of Bertolt and Reiner, we see that Reiner's face is quite neutral. Another Scout Regiment soldier tells him that they must have all escaped because there's no blood anywhere. An accurate observation, but the man with her thinks if the villagers were all evacuated, then why did the Titans destroy the houses? And the horses are still in their stables. The evidence points towards the villagers all being dead, but Connie is hopeful after hearing the woman's words. As we know, horseback riding is humanity's only way of outrunning Titans. Without horses, the villagers would have had an extremely lowered chance of survival. They start to move out, but as Connie is getting ready to leave, he hears the Titan on his house saying, "Well, come home." Reiner gets his attention and tells him they have to leave. Connie, understandably uneasy, asks Reiner if he heard anything, and he quickly denies it. But Connie can't help but believe he heard the Titan speak, and hints that it might be his mother. Reiner is quick to snap him out of it by telling him that there are hundreds of thousands of lives depending on them. Connie then decides to follow him instead of interacting with the Titan on his house. After the opening, we see Ymir, Krista, and the two other members of the Scout Regiment that make up the Western team. It's been 7 hours after the Titan spotting. Ymir asks why they're going southward when there are no villages there. Her superior tells her it is to find out where the location of the breach in the wall is. Having no equipment and thus unable to fight, Ymir knows that Krista and her will be Titan fodder. She tries to convince her superior to let them go back for their equipment, but she is denied permission because they have to relay back a report. She tells them that this is what they signed up for as soldiers. Krista feels guilty about Ymir joining the Scout Regiment. She thinks Ymir joined it because of her, but Ymir is quick to deny it. Krista admits that she is not good enough to be in the top 10 by skill alone, and that Ymir somehow made her part of the top 10. Ymir is quick to tell her that she joined the Scout Regiment for herself, and that she made sure Krista was in the top 10 for her family. Krista is happy that Ymir joined for herself, and makes a joyful facial expression. Ymir makes an eerie stare at Krista in response to her facial expression. Maybe she thinks she's a goddess and wants to marry her, just like Reiner did in Season 1. Now we are intrigued by not only Krista's family and her past, but Ymir's true reasoning for getting Krista into the top 10, and trying so hard to convince her to join the military police. We transition to 9 hours after the Titan spotting and see the eastern defensive line. A garrison soldier is luring a Titan towards the cannons. Once they're in range, our favorite character, Kits, orders for the attack. Obviously the cannons can't kill the Titans, so Rico, a top soldier of the garrison, goes in and finishes the job. The soldier who lured in the Titan is very confident about their defenses, but Rico is quick to correct him by saying that the Titan's strength is in their numbers. If they attack as a group, their line of defense won't stand a chance. She is uneasy about something, and eerie music begins to play. We see Hannes with 2 other soldiers, and he also feels strange about the situation. They haven't spotted a single Titan, and he knows that they're getting close to the breach in the wall. He thinks it's awfully quiet. The video fades to black, and now we are left to wonder why it is so quiet, with no Titans approaching in groups. It's been 11 hours after the Titan spotting, and man, this was a fearful scene. Connie's group is on horseback in complete darkness. It's completely silent, with no background music, and all we can hear is the heavy breathing of one of the soldiers. He is just anticipating the arrival of the Titans. There's absolutely no way that they could fight off Titans in the dark. He knows that the closer they get to the opening, the closer they are to the Titans. He's under excruciating fear and distress. They run into Ymir's group, and neither have found a hole in the wall. I love this image. They're completely encapsulated by darkness. They're in the dark with little light and can't see far into the distance. Similarly, they are also in the dark with regards to their knowledge of the history of the Titans, the wall, and the outside world. They know barely anything about things in the distance. Humanity is truly living in the dark ages, both figuratively and literally. The clouds drift apart, the moonlight shines, and they see castle ruins in the distance. They decide to stay there for the night. We finally get back to Levi, Pastor Nick, Hanji, Armin, and Eren. Hanji confirms that the rock is a hardened fragment of skin left behind by Annie's Titan form. Armin is surprised that it didn't disappear. She also reveals that the fragment of skin and a piece of the wall were practically identical in pattern and composition. While Hanji is explaining this, Pastor Nick closes his eyes and puts his head down. A subtle tell that she is right and that he acknowledges this. Armin tries to speak, but Hanji is quick to stop him in a comedic attempt to prevent him from saying what she's about to say. She believes that Eren could seal the wall using the Titan's hardening ability. Armin puts forth the idea that they could reach Shiganshina if they traveled at night, when the Titans can't move. Hanji thinks that a small enough group could even make it all the way to Wall Maria. There's a glimmer of hope, but it all depends on whether or not Eren is able to seal the wall. Hanji asks if he can do it, but Levi is quick to prevent his reply by saying there's no other choice. Eren then remembers the basement of his home, and that all the answers lie there. They arrive in Ermik district. Pastor Nick is completely shocked when he sees all the people who have evacuated their villages. This is the first time he has seen people directly affected by the Titans. He sees a boy crying for his parents. Pastor Nick tries to go and help him, but Levi prevents him from doing so. Levi is brutal with laying down the truth. They have lost everything. These are the faces of everyone that Pastor Nick and his people left behind. Hanji goes to see if Pastor Nick has had a change of heart, but nothing has changed. Understandably, she is unable to hold her frustration back and yells at him, but Pastor Nick reaffirms that he cannot say anything and that the other believers are the same as him. Nothing will change. but he does reveal some important information. The Order of the Walls, also known as the Wall Cult, must always adhere to a sacred will that they are bound to obey. He reveals a person that he and his order were instructed to monitor under their sacred will. That person joined the Scout Regiment last year. In a nice trolling fashion, the creators made it seem like it was Sasha, as she arrived just as Pastor Nick revealed the name. She brilliantly serves her role as comedic relief, as she is ignored by everyone while she tries to get their attention. Shortly after, we know that it is not her because of the group's reaction upon seeing her. Hilariously, she gets a fresh steaming potato as a reward from Hanji. The person Pastor Nick is talking about is Krista. We transition to the others, and Reiner is questioning Ymir about something, and she gives a rather sinister look. They are all awoken and called to the tower, where they find out that they have been surrounded by Titans. They are shocked, because the Titans can move without sunlight. Connie points everyone's attention towards the Beast Titan. Bertolt, Reiner, and Ymir are all shocked, a little more than the others, at the sight of the Beast Titan, and Connie and Krista kind of notice this. Just as Connie says that the Beast Titan is headed towards the wall, a Titan rams himself into the tower. Now we are in incredible suspense because Eren and the others are about to go outside, without knowing that there are Titans moving in the dark. Eren is eager to depart, but Levi is quick to remind them how everything is riding on them. Then he gives Armin and Mikasa advice. We finally hear that hype music as the only people in the tower with equipment go to fight the Titans. What an eerie image of the Beast Titan displaying his intelligence by climbing the wall and then looking back at all the Titans surrounding the tower. It cuts back to Levi again, where he gives probably the most important piece of advice to Eren. Don't succumb to rage and lose sight of the goal. That is exactly what happened when Eren had to pick up the boulder and close the hole in the wall. In rage, he lost sight of the goal and began to attack Mikasa. If Eren does that again, it can mean the death of them all. Interestingly, we find out that the abandoned castle is called Utgard Castle. The word comes from Norse mythology, and it means a stronghold of the giants. Clearly, this is no coincidence. I love being able to find meanings behind the names of places. If only we knew of its name as Ymir and the others went to it, then it would have served as some great foreshadowing. From the preview, there's an interesting clip of a Titan attacking a Titan. Hopefully we'll find out more about it. Next week's episode will serve to develop Reiner's character through a flashback, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. These are the kinds of episodes I like to analyze. Ones that have plot development and not just action. This episode had a little combat, but it was mostly plot development. I was thinking to just stop making these videos on Attack on Titan, but this episode gave me motivation to keep going. Let me know what you thought of the episode and the analysis, and I'll see y'all on the flip side.